All right, deep dive time, and we are tackling the Canon G7X Mark III manual today.
Uncharted territory for a lot of folks, even if they've had the camera a while.
It's true. It's like you get this manual, and it's intimidating, right?
Tiny print diagrams you need a magnifying glass for.
And who's got time to decipher all that?
Right. You just want to be taking great pictures.
Exactly. So consider us your shortcut. We're digging into the juicy stuff, the features even seasoned photographers might not know about, the ones that make this camera truly sing.
Think of it like there's the regular menu of features everyone uses, and then there's this whole secret menu.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, the stuff that elevates your photography game without needing a bunch of extra beer.
Okay, so first up on our secret menu, MF peaking. Admit it, that name doesn't exactly scream must-use feature, does it?
No, it sounds kind of technical, right? But trust me on this, especially if you like manual focus. This is huge.
Okay, talk to me. I dabble in manual focus, but I'm always a little nervous about nailing it.
So imagine this. You're shooting something with really fine detail, right? Like a macro shot of a flower.
Or like one of those intricate insects where it's all about the texture.
Exactly. Now you're twisting your focus ring, trying to get it tack sharp, but it's tough to tell on the LCD sometimes.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you're in bright light, the screen washes out.
This is where MF peaking is your new best friend. As you adjust the focus, colored outlines appear on the screen, but only on the parts of the image that are in perfect focus.
No way. So it's like the camera's highlighting the sharpest areas for you in real time.
You got it.
Yeah.
Takes the guesswork completely out.
So I can stop snapping like 50 shots, hoping one of them is in focus.
Exactly. This way, you know, right then and there, you nailed it.
Okay, MF peaking going straight onto the use all the time list. What else we got?
Let's talk about when you need a little extra zoom digital teleconverter. I know. We usually avoid digital zoom like the plague.
Because it makes everything grainy, right?
Exactly. But this is different. Think of it less like digital zoom, more like
Right.
having an extra super sharp zoom lens tucked away.
Okay. How does that work exactly?
So your camera already has optical zoom, right? But this digital teleconverter basically crops into the sensor.
So you're getting closer to the action without actually moving.
Right, but here's the key. The G7X Mark III uses some fancy algorithms to minimize the quality loss you'd normally get with that kind of digital zoom.
So it's like smart cropping.
Exactly. You maintain way more detail and sharpness than you'd expect, even when you're zoomed in really far.
That is so helpful, especially when you can't physically get closer to your subject, like at a sporting event or a concert.
Exactly. No more sacrificing image quality just to get closer to the action.
All right, this is like having cheat codes for better photography. What else is hiding in this manual?
Ever wished you could capture those amazing time lapses of the night sky, stars streaking across the heavens?
Well, absolutely, but I always figured that required like a telescope and a whole bunch of fancy software.
Not with this camera. The G7X Mark III has a dedicated Star Time-Lapse mode.
No way. Seriously, it's built in.
Yep. It's like having a mini observatory in your camera bag. And the best part is, it's surprisingly user-friendly.
So I don't need a degree in astrophysics to figure it out.
Nope. The camera does most of the heavy lifting for you. You choose your settings, frame your shot, and let it do its thing.
That's incredible. I can already imagine the Instagram posts. Milky Way, captured on my trusty G7X Mark III. People will be amazed.
Right. It's all about unlocking those hidden features and pushing the creative boundaries of what this camera can do.
Okay, I'm sold. Star Time-Lapse mode, here I come.
Okay.
Okay, those secret features were seriously cool. But how do we actually use them to, take better photos?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
We've talked about the tools. Now let's talk about storytelling.
Because anyone can point and shoot, but capturing a feeling, a mood,
Yeah.
that's the real magic, right?
Exactly. And that's where the G7X Mark III's creative modes come in.
Creative modes. Okay, I'm intrigued. I usually just stick to auto mode.
Auto mode is great for, like, a starting point.
Yeah.
But these modes let you take control and get really intentional with your photography.
So less, oops, accidental masterpiece, more, I meant to do that.
Exactly. You're the director, the camera's your crew, and the first mode I want to talk about is hybrid auto mode.
Hybrid auto, that sounds kind of contradictory, doesn't it?
It's the best of both worlds, really. Picture this. You're at a birthday party, capturing all the fun, right?
Cake, balloons, the works.
Exactly. Now, in hybrid auto mode, the camera's doing something sneaky. It's recording a short video clip before each photo you take.
Wait. So you get a mini video with every picture?
You got it. It's
That.
capturing the laughter, the chatter, all those little moments that make the event come alive.
So you get the photo, but you also get the feeling, the energy of that moment.
Exactly. And here's the kicker. The camera takes all those little video snippets and automatically stitches them together into a digest movie.
No way. So it's like making a highlight reel for you.
Precisely. You get the best of both worlds, beautifully framed photos, and this dynamic video that captures the essence of the entire event.
Okay, that's next level cool. What other storytelling tricks does this camera have up its sleeve?
Let's talk about action shots. Ever wonder how photographers get that blurry background, that sense of motion?
Oh yeah, like those photos where the race car's a blur, but it just looks so cool and dynamic.
Exactly. That's called panning. And the G7X Mark III has a dedicated panning mode to help you nail those shots.
Okay, because I've tried panning before,
Yeah.
and my photos just end up looking blurry.
It takes a little practice, but this mode gives you a head start. As you pan the camera, it automatically adjusts the shutter speed to create that motion blur while keeping your subject relatively sharp.
So it's like built-in image stabilization specifically for panning.
Kinda. It's more about controlling the blur, making sure it's intentional and artistic.
Okay, that makes sense. Panning mode added to my must-try list for sure.
Good. Now, speaking of motion, let's talk about those mesmerizing time-lapse videos, clouds racing across the sky, cityscapes changing from day to night.
Those are always so captivating, but I always assumed they were really difficult to make.
Not with the G7X Mark III. It has a dedicated time-lapse movie mode that makes it super simple.
Really? So I can create those stunning time lapses without needing any fancy software or anything.
Exactly. You just frame your shot, set the interval between photos, and let the camera do its thing.
So I could capture like a flower blooming or traffic moving through the city, all in this cool time-lapse style.
Absolutely. It's about slowing down time, speeding it up, revealing those hidden patterns we don't normally see.
Okay, time-lapse movie mode, check. What other hidden gems are hiding in this manual?
Let's talk about those tricky lighting situations. Ever try to photograph a sunset, but the sky gets blown out or the shadows are too dark?
Oh, all the time. It's like you can see it perfectly with your eyes, but the camera just can't capture it.
That's where HDR comes in high dynamic range. And the G7X Mark III doesn't just do HDR photos, it shoots HDR movies too.
HDR video. Okay, now you're just showing off.
It's pretty amazing. Basically, HDR allows the camera to see a wider range of light and shadow detail, just like your eyes do.
So no more sacrificing detail in the highlights or the shadows. It can capture everything.
Exactly. And because it's video, those transitions are seamless. It's perfect for landscapes, scenes with lots of contrast.
This is like giving your camera superpowers. I had no idea.
It's all about bridging that gap between what we see and what the camera sees.
Okay, you've officially blown my mind. These creative modes are incredible. But what about after we take the photo? Is there anything in the manual about post-processing? Okay, I'm convinced this manual is like a secret agent's handbook for photographers.
I like that analogy.
And thanks to your expert decoding, I feel like I'm finally in on all the best missions. But even secret agents need those quick, efficient gadgets.
The ones that make all the difference in a pinch.
Exactly. So what are those last-minute lifesaver tips from the manual, the things even seasoned photographers might be overlooking?
One of my favorites is button customization. You know how you're always digging through menus to change settings?
Ugh, don't even get me started. It's like trying to find the lost city of Atlantis just to adjust the ISO sometimes.
Right. Well, the G7X Mark III lets you assign frequently used functions to specific buttons, puts those settings right at your fingertips.
So I can be like, aperture priority, I need you now, and boom, it's done.
Exactly. Streamlines your workflow, no more menu deep dives in the middle of a shoot.
Love it. Efficiency is key.
Another quick win, adjusting the LCD brightness.
You mean like making it brighter in sunlight?
Exactly. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Bright sun, crank it up. Low light, tone it down.
Oh, for sure. Nothing worse than trying to compose a shot when you can barely see the screen. Okay, what else? What else have you got?
Okay, this one's for speed demons like me. Lens retraction timing.
Lens retraction. Okay, gotta be honest, not ringing any bells.
So by default, after you turn off the camera, the lens takes like a whole minute to retract,
Oh,
right?
yeah, right. I guess it does. It never really bothered me, but...
But you can actually customize that. Set it to 0 seconds for instant power down.
No way. So it's like, bam, lens is in, I'm out of there.
Exactly. Especially useful when you're on the go. Gotta protect that lens.
Okay, let's go straight into my settings. I am loving these quick wins.
See? Your camera manual, it's not so scary after all.
No, it's like actually kind of brilliant. I went
Mhm.
from intimidated to inspired in like 20 minutes.
That's what we like to hear. It's all about unlocking the potential of what you've already got.
Exactly. This deep dive has turned this manual from a chore to a treasure map.
And at the end of that treasure map, a whole new level of photography skills.
I love it. So as we wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
Don't be afraid to explore your camera's features. Get out there, experiment, have fun with it.
The manual is the guidebook, but you're the artist. I love that.
Exactly. And you never know what amazing shots you'll capture when you push those creative boundaries.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise. This has been an awesome journey into the heart of the Canon G7X Mark III.
My pleasure. Always happy to geek out about cameras.
Until next time, everyone, happy shooting. And don't forget, we've got links to all the features we talked about in the show notes.